Hello and welcome to a very late bonus video that we wanted to get out last year. Finally had a spare weekend to just do it, and I at least wanted to get it out by the year anniversary that I originally did this series. I'll go ahead and get started, and I'll kind of tell the story as I go along. But this is the first entry of the prompt list for Sketchamania, and this is the mask one. This one was the inspiration of doing like a hybrid between Sin Cara's mask, Io Shirai's mask when she debuted with WWE during the Mae Young Classic, and then we have Ultimo Dragon, and of course Rey Mysterio had to get in there. And yeah, this was a sketch prompt that a fellow artist that I will try not to butcher her name, so I'll edit it in here, and then I'll definitely give her credit. And yeah, she just made like a really cool prompt just to do something similar to like Inktober, if anyone's done that. But this one was done around April last year during WrestleMania, and it fit really well during the pandemic. And yeah, this one is a quick sketch of Steve Blackman. And then this one was based on the Iconics victory at WrestleMania 35. I just wanted to do the love concept here since they had a very emotional moment when they won the Women's Tag Team Championships. And I think what I liked about this prompt list compared to other ones from Inktober, this one is from WrestleMania 31. This was actually an event that we attended when they were out here in California at Levi Stadium. This one was during Triple H's Terminator entrance. Decided to go with the skull concept from this one. And yeah, like what I liked about doing this whole prompt was that they, or I should say the artist that made this, did a really good job of just making like somewhat open topics to kind of go off of. Like this one, for example, this one was Burn. So I did a hybrid of Bam Bam Bigelow since he had the flames, and then kind of mixed it with some Altered Beast inspiration. But yeah, so like for example, tag teams and then heel, face, that they're really open, so you could just interpret it how you wanted to. So on a few of them, I made them really obvious, like with this one with the Street Profits. But some of them are really, really obscure, like when we get to the next one here with Blood. These are literally just probably the first things that I thought of when I saw the prompts. So I just remember for this one with Blood being the matchup that Hardcore Holly and RVD, the matchup that they had on an episode of ECW where like Hardcore Holly got this really bad gash during the matchup. And it's always stuck with me. So that was like the first thing that I thought of when I saw Blood. Same thing with this one with the Underdog, where I first thought of Bart Gunn during his whole Brawl for All series, and just went with like a Little Mac inspiration for Punch Out. And yeah, I think that's the beauty of doing like Inktober, and in this case Sketchamania, that you can pretty much interpret it any way that you want. This one I had a little bit of fun with because this one was one of the first ones that was done on medium on the traditional colored pencil, but then I just slightly modified it in Photoshop so it would just be the same image but with different colors, just because the Big Show is notorious for turning heel and face every 5 minutes. So I figured I'd just kind of go with the same concept but switch around the colors. This one was fun because I thought about Cathy Kelly and Kayla Braxton when Cathy Kelly was still with the company. It was really cool to see them kind of retweet, or I should say repost it on Instagram with their stories. Really cool when they actually appreciate the artwork as well. So really cool of them to kind of plug that. And then this one here with Raven, like I said, this one was more obvious since it was just animal. Decided to draw Raven as a Raven, giving him his old WCW gear here. But yeah, I think since this one is definitely more inspired for wrestling, obviously, I enjoyed it more than a traditional Inktober series. So yeah, I hope this artist decides to do it again. I believe she did it for Inktober last year as well. but she didn't do a new prompt list for this year. So I don't know if she's going to build this up again for either next year or to just move Sketchamania over to Inktober. But I hope she does, because it was a lot of fun working on these. This one is very obscure because this one is based on a local manager here in California, a good friend of mine, Marcus Mack. I kind of decided to give him his trademark pink outfit that he was always rocking during his entrances during some of the matches. So he kind of wore like this really cool like pink hat and outfit with the black kind of peacock robe, really distinct. This one with Kane is also another digital one where it's literally every variation of when Kane and the Undertaker fought each other. So we had maskless Kane, mask Kane, Undertaker, double like SummerSlam Undertaker when he went up against himself. So that one was really fun to work on, just because it was where I could just kind of like do every instance of it. This one I kind of did for a friend where she was a huge Rhea Ripley fan. So I just ended up kind of going with the nightmare gimmick to just go and do my version of Rhea Ripley. Really like it, how it's just like black and white for the most part, other than the eyes. This one was more of a concept one here with the symbols with when you kind of see it on your emojis on your phone, where like there's different heart emojis. So I kind of went with that theme of just using every instance of a heart when we have in pro wrestling with like Owen Hart, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tommaso Ciampa. So yeah, I really like doing that overall idea. And then this one was just simple. This was when Bayley won her Money in the Bank, so I just went really simple with this one, since you have to draw a new thing every day. So I kind of just wanted to go detailed on some of them and then really simple, and just kind of use her trademark logo for the Money in the Bank. This one, of course, was inspired by the Guerrero's Titantron at the time. It was just something silly, and it's always stuck with me. So that was the first thing I thought of when I thought of family. So I decided to do like my own rendition of that Titantron image, and just kind of give it like that bright colors that you remember from their Titantron. This one was the one I probably spent the most time on, or at least one of them that I did, doing the different gimmicks of Sting with his Joker Sting from TNA, and then all his variations of Sting during WCW. I really like how this one came out. It's kind of abstract, but if you know all the different versions, you can kind of make it out. And then this one is kind of based on childhood memories of All Real Monsters, if anyone remembers that show. And during this time, Braun Strowman and The Fiend were kind of feuding with each other. So I figured this was like a good hybrid to kind of mix up between those two, since they're pretty much real life monsters, and might as well just go with the theme and commit to it. This one is also very obscure. This is when we were reviewing NXT season 1, I believe. Yeah. So this is when Angela Fong was the queen of FCW. So I remember that fact, and that was the first thing I thought of Queen. And I figured a lot of people would be doing Charlotte for that prompt, so I just went a different direction. This one is also based on a good friend from APW, Tomcaster, who has now been, I believe, with WWE/NXT the last 4 years. So just kind of throwing that journey of his dream from his APW days back here in the Bay Area up till going until WrestleMania 35, which was really cool. This one was kind of based on my favorite NXT female superstar at the moment with Jenny, just because she has a lot of presence, and especially with her pose is what I instantly thought of when I saw this prompt, and just kind of went with that. It was really cool. She also kind of gave it some props back as well. And then this one was the special guest one where my boy Black Yao did this one for me, because he said he didn't have as much time, but he said he at least wanted to get one in there. So I let him do the iconic Hell in a Cell. Got the Undertaker up top, and Mick Foley, of course, taking the fall. And this one came out amazing, of course. And then this one, same thing. On some days, like especially towards the end, I was just really running out of ideas. But at least I wanted to get R-Truth in there some way when he was teaming up with the Road Dogg during his early days in WWE. And just another quick one here, just trying to go back into the theme. This one was a favorite one because, like I would hope many of us have played the THQ games growing up, but I just wanted to kind of go with the nostalgia of playing the traditional Aki games on the N64. So this one was really fun. I really enjoyed working on this one, and pretty happy with it. I may go back and do like a polished version. This one, as you can tell, is really running low on energy because it's towards the end of the prompt list. So this one was just more of a concept of like each cage variation within the ring. So we had Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, War Games, and the traditional blue steel cage. And then this one was probably my favorite one, coming near the end, with just capturing a moment that I was luckily enough to see live with the crew, watching Eddie Guerrero win the WWE title at the Cow Palace back in 2004. So that is definitely my number one legend at this point, and I really want to kind of go back and do this one again and do maybe like a full portrait. And this one was just like a free space one, and Mia Yim has always been a heavy favorite for us, and she's also given us a ton of love on social media. So I just wanted to close out the prompt list by doing a piece dedicated to her, being inspired by Black Panther and Killmonger in his iconic pose. And that's pretty much it. Like I apologize again for getting this video out literally a year later. But it was just fun kind of going back down memory lane to see what I ended up doing, and also just checking out like the different themes that we ended up drawing. But that's pretty much it for me. I would highly recommend to go check out the artist again. I really just don't want to butcher her name, so I'll just put the links in the description below as well. And then check out her artwork, as it's really amazing, and I would highly recommend it. And if you want to support us and keep following us, I would hope that everyone subscribes, and we'll try to put out more unique content like this in the future. Thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it.